right, I am not gonna lie, I did not really pay a whole lot of attention to the vice presidential debate. I checked in here and there, listened to some as I was at work, and then listened to most of the end of it after I got off. And like I checked in, but I wasn't as engaged in this one as I was the presidential debate. Like we knew going in the presidential debate, it was going to be everything that it turned out to be. You know, this one was never going to be that. It's two seasoned, at least to the for the most part, professional politicians who know how to do the debates, and it just didn't have any real appeal to me. Like Kamala Harris can't debate. We saw that all through the Democratic primaries. Like it's the entire reason that her presidential bid fizzled out as quickly as it did is because she had her one shining moment where she called Joe Biden a racist, and then beyond that, she gave nothing. Like she's not good at it. So like nothing was gonna come of her being on the stage talking. And then Mike Pence he is an uber professional as far as the debates and just being a politician goes. Like he wasn't going to offer up anything ridiculous or crazy. He was going to stand up there, be super professional, and deliver the party line message for the entire hour and a half. And also, vice presidential debates. Who really cares? Like the vice president, their job is to uh, be a figurehead and not screw up. Uh, I mean, God, Joe Biden did it for 8 years miraculously. He was the butt of every joke for 8 years and still managed to not just completely screw up as vice president. So is it really that important of a position? That's probably debatable. So, again, it's nothing to really get excited about because it's the vice presidential debate. Like, their entire job is to get up there and whatever the party platform is, to deliver that soundly, clearly, and make sure that everybody knows exactly what the Democrats and the Republicans want everybody to think about them because Biden and Trump, they're just going to have senile old men acting like toddlers having a shouting fit at each other. So you got to have at least something that gives you some substance, and the vice presidential debate is the substance. It's where they actually tell you what they want you to hear. And as far as that goes, like Pence did a good job. He answered the questions for the most part. Like he danced around and he did the political talk thing uh, that all politicians do. But for the most part, like he at least gave the answers that the right are looking for. So that was kind of a win from that side of things. Um, and then the fly on the head, uh, which now has its own Twitter, and like that was the only real substantive thing that came out of Pence was the fly on his head. Like when your entire performance can be summed up as the most exciting thing was a fly that lands in your hair. Obviously, you did a pretty good job of being a vice president and remaining totally just off the radar. Uh, for Kamala Harris's part, from what I did check in on and listen to, she just it was the same stuff that the reason that nobody liked her during the Democratic primaries. Like she's as a person, she is extremely disingenuous and just unlikable. Like her, the way she speaks and her facial expressions and everything, it's just not. It just doesn't endear anybody to her, and that was why her presidential campaign washed out as quickly as it did because she just didn't. She's not a person that's going to excite anybody, and it's kind of a shame that they went that route with picking her for the VP. She just doesn't bring anything to the table that people like. She lies through her teeth. She clearly has no interest in principles or morals or anything other than what does the most to get her power and help her maintain power. Um, I did like towards the end they asked about the uh, all the things that have been going on for the past 6 months with police brutality and all of that. and you knew it was coming. Like there's no way they could not ask that question, right? And you know that I I, I commented us. They're talking about the cops. Tulsi's coming from the backstage with a chair, uh, because you know that's gonna happen. Like they're going to bring up Kamala Harris's record and just hammer her on that because her record speaks for itself. I mean, she was a vicious DA, and the things that she did to innocent people, like legitimately innocent people, to keep them in jail, to put them in jail, and then keep them in jail, and lying and paying people to do that kind of stuff to make sure that innocent people stay in jail. I mean, just her uh, conviction rate of minorities, specifically of black people, is outrageous. Like she was horrible for nonviolent drug offenders and the black community, and anytime that gets brought up, like she has no defense of it. And even after Mike Pence brought it up and hit her on all of that, she got all pissed off and she wanted to defend herself. And so the moderator said, "You can defend yourself." And then she literally said nothing in defense of her record. She just went back to talking about the reforms and the changes that her and Biden are going to make. And they've had every opportunity in the world. Republican congressmen have brought forward bills to end no-knock warrants, to change the way police is done, to get rid of qualified immunity. Like, Republicans have brought this stuff forward, and Kamala Harris has voted against it. So we're supposed to believe that her and Joe Biden, the author of the 1994 crime, like the whole thing that started the war on drugs, and is responsible for just wrecking black communities. And then Kamala Harris, with her record, and her record that continues to speak for itself in her voting, we're supposed to believe that those are the people that are going to do anything to change the police. They are the police. They make all their money off of it. Like that is what they have banked on. But we're supposed to believe that they're going to change it. It's just, it comes across extremely, extremely shitty and just dishonest, like blatantly dishonest. It's not even like she's messed up some statistics or something like Joe Biden likes to do. Like it's just straight up lying. And that's what sickens me. What really, really sickens me is the fact that the Democrats had every opportunity in the world to get this right, and they didn't do it. 2016 was not a referendum on racism, misogynism, Donald Trump, any of that stuff. Like, Donald Trump should have been an afterthought in the analysis of 2016. The reason Donald Trump ran roughshod through the Republican primaries and then ended up winning the Electoral College over Hillary and had such a good showing is because the American people are fed up with the status quo that comes from government. That's why he just steamrolled all of these establishment Republicans, is because nobody wants those people anymore. They don't bring anything unique or new or original to the table. They're all the exact same thing that we've had for fucking 50 years, and we're done with it. Like, the American people are done with it. We see what they brought us, and it's not good. So that's why Trump won then. And the Democrats had a chance to learn from that with the way Hillary got thrashed, and people just did not like Hillary. Like, it was, in swing states, it was less a case of Trump won and more a case of Hillary lost. And I think that got lost completely on the Democratic Party, because they came back here in 2019 and 2020 and they nominated Joe Biden, who is just more of the same. Like, they didn't change. They stuck with the status quo. And then they, at least, if you're going to do that, you're going to go with your status quo candidate. They had an opportunity to put Tulsi Gabbard or Pete Buttigieg or Yang or any of these others that actually are like young and engaging and exciting, and even somebody like me who does not like Democrats, I can at least find things with Tulsi and Buttigieg and Yang that I could agree with and maybe be somewhat supportive of and get behind. And they had every opportunity in the world to put these people up there, and then instead they picked Kamala Harris, who showed that she was awful. Like, the Democrats tried to ram her down our throats in the primaries, and the people rejected her outright because she is so awful. But it's not. That's not the way it works for the Democrats. Like, they need that establishment because they can't have anybody that's going to rock the boat or might try to change things or do anything that actually benefits the people, because then that's going to give up some of their power. It's an embarrassment. The debate was at least peaceable for the most part. I did think it'd be nice if they let if they seriously let Joe Rogan or Mark Claire of Lions of Liberty or Buck Johnson from Death to Tyrants, like, let somebody that's sort of impartial and has a good history of interviewing people and conducting some debate type forums interview these folks and get them up there, because I did, like, the moderator, I think it felt like, for what I listened to, she spent more time talking than either of the candidates. If I'm hearing her voice nonstop, then she is doing a piss poor job as a moderator. That's my 2 cents. I got to get these kids ready for school. This was take 2 because I might have murdered a kid. I didn't. I really didn't. I promise. Not that I didn't consider it. So, anyway, everybody have a good day, and I will see y'all later.